Shalom. Greetings, everybody, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Well, this is your brother, this is your host, this is your friend, your fellow yoke servant in the gospel. Joe Kennedy is my name, the voice of thunders, the prophetic mystic Rabbi in Christ Jesus, ordained since before the foundations of the world. Precious saints, I come at this hour with a very urgent message from the Lord. I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me very well. I've always opined on this channel that the Lord does not speak because He has a mouth, but the Lord speaks because He has an agenda. He has a purpose, or rather a purpose, to which He intends to achieve, or rather execute in the earth. It was on the 22nd of May. Hear me as I hear the Lord. It was on the 22nd of May, 2024, this year, that is last month, 22nd of May. I remember the time I was woken up from that vision. When I looked and checked at the wall clock, it was reading 3:09 a.m. in the morning. So on the 22nd of May at 3:09, when I woke up from the vision, it was 3:09 a.m. in the morning. And precious saints, in the visions of Adonai, I saw a huge, hear me, I saw a huge and extremely tall, huge and very tall, angelic being in flames. But the flames seemingly appeared to be part of his nature of being. He was in flames, but the flames were not burning him. It appeared seemingly like as though the flames of fire were part of his nature of being. He was like a flaming, or rather what we call a burning angel. He's burning in flames, but the fire is not consuming him. In this vision, this angel I saw, because I was in the vision, the angel of the Lord that always walks and guides me through my visions, experiences, and encounters in the realms of visions in God. I was in the vision when I saw this, and this angelic, flaming, burning being, from where I was, he descended from the northern sphere. He descended from the northern sphere of the heavens, precious saints, holding a very long, he was holding a very long flaming sword. He was holding on his right hand a very long flaming sword that burns in his right hand. Prayer says, I saw this celestial being moving as one suspended in the mid-air. He was moving like this, with his, he was moving on air as one suspended in the mid-air. across the entire military base of our nation, because I saw him there. He was moving as one suspended the mid-air across the military base of our nation with his stretched hand, his right stretched hand holding the flaming sword pointing downwards like this. The flaming sword was pointing downwards, precious saints. And I saw when he was moving across, pointing downwards above the atmosphere over the military base of our nation, the KDF military base of our nation, I saw someone down there, because I was also like, I too in the vision is like I was also levitated in the mid-air, but I was standing at a distance from this flaming burning angel, and I saw someone down there who is a military personnel, a highly ranked kind of, I don't know whether it was, I don't know how to put it, a personnel of a military collapsing. I saw down there when the angel, the burning flaming angel, pointed downwards the sword, because I had not taken into consideration what he was pointing downwards. The sword he was holding in his right hand was flaming and burning with the fire. And I saw him pointing the sword downwards. So when I checked to look what he was pointing, I saw a military personnel collapse, and there he was. I saw his spirit and soul leave his body, that military officer. He collapsed, and the spirit and the soul of this man left the body. And immediately intelligence kicked in me, and I knew this one is dead. Then a voice echoed, hear me, precious saints. A voice echoed from the heavens and said, this is what the voice from the heavens echoed and said. He said, Kenya shall mourn once again from the military. Kenya shall mourn once again from the military. And I understood that there is gonna be another death blow from the KDF after the passing out of the CDF, the late General Ogola. Another shall follow after him. That's what the Lord showed me. So don't say I didn't say. So can you pray about this? Pray. I urge you, please pray. We can stop it. Pray. But one thing that I always say, that the prayer may not much be effective, because by the time the Lord is showing me this, it has already been approved from the realms of God. But who knows? If you know how to reason in the courtrooms of God, ascend and plead. But again, precious saints, it didn't stop there. Again, I have seen this celestial being of an angelic being, this flaming, burning angel, fly across the nation of Kenya and pointing his flaming sword in different directions. And flames of fire were being unleashed, or the flames of fire was being unleashed from the sword in his hand and moving in different directions, going different movements across the nation of Kenya. And suddenly I could see the surface of the ground in Kenya here. I could see the surface ground drying up in an unusual manner, forming cracks, serious crack patterns on the ground. And when I was moving, like I said, I was suspended, levitated on the air. So when I was moving like as though flying across the mid-air above the earth, I could see the ground forming serious crack patterns, drying up the ground, drying and forming serious crack patterns. And I could see farms, in Swahili, mashamba, where you grow plants and you grow your food, horticultural farms. I could see farms drying up and those crack patterns forming up. And I could see plantations in the farms drying up too. And I could see rivers in different localities within the nation drying. Precious saints, pray. Kenya, what is coming? You have seen the prophecies that have been given. None of them has hit the wall. Every prophecy I've given has accurately, forensically, to the detail, being fulfilled. All of them have been fulfilled right on this Voice of Thunder's YouTube channel. So take my word serious. Kenyans, you are jokers. Take my word serious. What is coming is unusual. I've also, in the same regard, I've witnessed in the vision of this burning, flaming angel with a flaming sword, I've seen water companies, hear me, water companies in different counties within the geography of Kenya. I've seen these water companies in different counties of Kenya doing water rationing. In other words, there is going to be water rationing as we move forward. So if you can afford to buy super tanks, buy big drums of water. Prepare for what is coming. This one is coming. Oh yes. In different parts of the country. And I could see people struggling and finding it difficulty to access water. The Lord has spoken and said, famine and drought is about to strike this nation so hard. Famine and drought is about to strike this nation so hard. I've indicated some of this in other previous prophecies. But again, it has been re-echoed back to me. I mean, this is serious. So pray. I've seen famine and drought. You see, drought comes as judgment. Famine is a natural disaster. But in scripture, drought strikes a land or a nation on the basis of judgment. But famine is not a judgment element per se. But drought comes along with famine. It is famine that is the forerunner of drought on the context the land has sinned against the Lord. So if the land has not sinned, famine can come and fail to bring about drought. But if the land has sinned, then famine comes before the drought strikes. These two are going to hit this nation so hard, and William Ruto and his administration will be unable, hear me, William Ruto and his administration of the fallen UDA will be unable to manage the situation. This I have heard from the Lord. So it is serious, precious saints. It is very serious. Again, the Lord has said, precious saint, the Lord has said, pointing to William Ruto, the Lord has said to William Ruto, because you have chosen to rely on environmentalists, because you have chosen to rely on environmentalists and climate experts in trying to interpret the seasons above, coded in the sun, the moon, and the clouds, I, the Lord, shall make a fool of you. I, the Lord, shall make a fool of you, because you have disregarded his prophets that are in Kenya. You are busy chasing after prophets in Nigeria, prophets in Malawi, in Zimbabwe, in America, in Uganda, in Tanzania, and you have disregarded prophets in the land of Kenya. And I'm not talking about the Kanyari cluster of prophets. I'm not talking about the compromised cluster of prophets. I'm not talking about the Pandambegu cluster of prophets. I'm talking about the handful, the few, the minor prophets. Let me call them minor because I'm part of the minor prophets in the land. You have disregarded them. The Lord has said, he shall make a fool of you, because you are relying on environmentalists and climate experts who have no intelligence from the Lord regarding what is coming and what is about to strike the nation of Kenya. The Lord has said this, that the calamities and catastrophes shall manifest one after the other in the order of the 10 plagues of Egypt. Hear me. The Lord has indicated that the calamities and catastrophes that are about to hit and strike Kenya shall manifest one after the other in the order of the 10 plagues of Egypt. This is coming. And by the way, the floods are coming back. The floods are coming back. This time, it is going to hit Nairobi like never before. It is going to hit Nairobi like never before. I have said it. The Lord has said Kenya is being judged. Hear me. You know, there are prophets who say, oh, Kenya is not being judged. Yo, there's nothing to judge. Everything was judged on the cross. My friend, don't be a fool. Don't be fooled because we are living in the season of grace that judgment does not work. There is judgment in grace. The Bible says, shall we continue to sin that grace may abound? God forbid. You cannot offend, insult the grace of God, and go unpunished. There is a punitive action coming from the realm of Yeshua. So the Lord has said Kenya is being judged for being an apostate nation. An apostate nation is the kind of a nation that loved the Lord from the heart, but lost its first love. Kenya has lost its first love for the Lord Yeshua and is chasing after gods, chasing after false prophets, cult prophets or cult prophets, money-oriented prophets, charlatans, jackals, vampire kind of prophets. The Shakahola massacre killed the prophets. You know, the Shakahola massacre is not only in the physical sense as we saw it on television. The Shakahola massacre is taking place in the spiritual arena. There are people being massacred in the spiritual arena, in churches, in the name of false prophets. The Lord has made me clear to understand that He wants me to call out the names of these false prophets. I will mention them. I have a prophecy about false prophets that is coming. Wait for it. Oh, yes. The Lord has said Kenya is being judged for being an apostate nation. Following this nation of Kenya is being judged for being an apostate nation, following after the order of Balaam. The nation of Kenya is following after the order of Balaam, false prophets. There is something else, precious saints, that the voice of thunders, the prophetic mystic Rabbi, also saw. Take my word serious. Something else I also saw in the vision that I was brought up into. Listen to me. Something else I saw in the vision that I was brought up into is that the angel, this particular angelic celestial being, the burning flaming angel with a flaming sword that burns, holding a flaming sword. This particular angelic being that I saw him touring, in Swahili, kurarua. I saw him touring into two. I saw this angel touring into two. The UDA political flag at the center. The UDA political flag was turned into two by this angelic being that is a burning flaming angel holding a flaming sword on his right hand. He tore the UDA political party flag into two and set it on fire from the sword. He touched the sword, he touched the flag, the UDA flag, he touched it by the flaming burning sword, and the flag caught fire, and he tore it into two at the center of it, and threw one piece on Rift Valley region, and he threw the other remaining piece on Mount Kenya region. What that means, let the wise interpret that. And the voice of the Lord, after that happened, the voice of the Lord echoed after that happening of the tearing of the flag after it caught fire. The voice of the Lord echoed clearly and said this. It says, the two shall burn each other with words until there shall be no match left. He who has understanding, let him interpret what I've said. The two. There are two that came up with the formation of the UDA. The two shall burn each other with words until there shall be no match left. The Lord has said, precious Kenyans, the Lord has said, William Ruto, this is the word of the Lord. He said, William Ruto has bitten off more than he can chew. He has bitten off more than he can chew. And he will, as a way of punishing him, this is the Lord, he will, as a way of punishing him, be facing harsh political instability. He will be facing harsh political instability because he has beaten more than he can chew. the Lord has said. He has beaten Morgan Kanchu. And so he will be facing, as a way of punishment, he will be facing harsh political instability among his UDA members of politicians, from members of parliament, governors, senators, MCAs, women reps. He will be facing harsh political instability. And also in cabinet members, the CS, also from there he will face political instability. And the Lord indicated to me in the vision that, and the hatred, listen to me, and the hatred of the Kenyan people, the hatred of the Kenyan people toward William Ruto shall increase and reach an irreversible point, and revolution shall strike the land. That's what the Lord has said. That is exactly what the Lord has said. The Lord has also said, precious saints, the Lord has said, because judgment, this is what the Lord said. Hear me. He said, because judgment is the expression of William Ruto's presidency. Hear me as I hear the Lord. The Lord has said, because judgment is the expression of William Ruto's presidency, economical wars shall strike the land of Kenya. For the angel with the burning sword shall cause this to heat up in the nation. The angel with the burning sword shall cause the nation of Kenya to heat up, kuchemka in Swahili, to heat up with these economic wars. The Lord has spoken. Toda, Rabbi, Shabbat, Shalom.